Hello everyone. Happy month of May to all of you. And for today's video, we have a heartwarming story about a married lady who's juggling her responsibilities with a part-time job to bring in some extra income for her family. Get ready to meet Miss MEI MIYAJIMA. So sit back, relax, and let's watch her do her thing. May is a devoted wife who is deeply committed to her 3-year marriage. She radiates compassion, and her unwavering work ethic extends to every aspect of their life together, built on simple comforts and mutual affection. While content, May yearns for children, a dream complicated by her husband's demanding IT career, which leaves him exhausted and emotionally unavailable. Ever understanding and supportive, May prioritizes his well-being, creating a nurturing home where he can recharge. Facing the common financial challenges of young couples and recognizing the weight her husband carries, May proactively seeks a part-time job. This decision, driven by her deep love and commitment, aims to ease their financial strain and contribute to a more secure and fulfilling future for them both, showcasing her dedication to their partnership and relieving pressure on her hard-working husband. Hoping to leverage her administrative skills, she applied for an office clerk position. Unfortunately, she learned there were no vacancies. The president, impressed by her enthusiasm, then offered her an alternative, a delivery helper position. He noted that while the role, traditionally held by men due to its perceived physical demands, didn't require a driver's license or driving experience, it involved assisting the main driver with collecting and distributing packages. The position also included tasks like selling e-tickets and company products along the delivery route. Initially hesitant about the physical aspects of the work, her financial needs ultimately outweighed her concerns, and she accepted the delivery helper position. May was escorted to the delivery warehouse where she was introduced to Mr. Nakata, a man whose weathered face and callous hands spoke of years spent behind the wheel. He was a veteran driver, seasoned and set in his ways, and now, her assigned delivery partner. A barely perceptible frown creased his forehead as his gaze swept over May. A wave of disbelief washed over him. His boss had actually hired a lady for this demanding job. He harbored deep-seated prejudices, believing that men possessed an inherent reliability when it came to physical labor, a conviction that relegated women to the domestic sphere in his mind. But the staff shortages compelled management to hire her right away. Mr. Nakata's protests to his boss were dismissed, leaving him responsible for supervising her from now on. Immediately, he began barking out a series of instructions, a subtle test disguised as orders, seemingly designed to gauge her capabilities and perhaps set her up for failure right at the onset. May, acutely aware of the skepticism radiating from him, was determined to prove herself. She approached each task with unwavering focus and tireless effort, driven by an inner resolve to demonstrate that she was not only capable but also deserving of the opportunity. Despite initial friction in their partnership, May remained committed to working with the middle-aged man. His early resistance was apparent in his impatience with her inquiries, his ambiguous answers, and his general annoyance. However, May chose to be patient and understanding, disregarding his brusque attitude. When his conduct became problematic, she would discreetly remove herself to diffuse the tension and maintain a peaceful atmosphere. She knew she couldn't change his attitude, but she could control how his negativity affected her. Consistently, May made sure to conduct herself in a professional manner throughout these interactions. Plus, landing this job was crucial for her career, and she wasn't about to let a little grumbling derail her. When it comes to the salary she receives, it is not as high as the salaries of veteran employees who have been working there for a long time. Therefore, she was advised to be patient and persevere in her work. She was told that she needs to wait and prove herself for a possible salary increase in the future. The advice indicates that the salary increase depends on her performance, dedication, and length of service in the company. Elated to finally contribute financially to her family, May feels a sense of relief knowing she can ease her husband's burden, though his anxieties about her stressful new job persist, amplified by the fact that May is the sole woman among her male colleagues. While understanding his concerns, May is confident in her safety, believing the professionalism and respect of her mostly familial coworkers will ensure a harmless workplace environment. One day, while busy working, Mr. Nakata noticed that his female coworkers seemed to be having difficulty lifting boxes and packages. Because of this, he offered to teach May the correct way to lift. He explained that proper posture is critical to avoiding any accidents or injuries to the body. He emphasized the importance of using the right position, from the placement of the feet, bending the legs and thighs, proper hip balance, and even keeping the shoulders and head straight. According to the middle-aged guy, the correct way will not only prevent injury but also help make the job easier. Although May was a little uncomfortable with Mr. Nakata's excessive attention and interference, she chose to remain silent and follow his advice to avoid any arguments. He didn't want to create tension between them. Despite May's best efforts to remain understanding and patient, she couldn't help but feel irritated whenever the old man was nearby. In the past, she had scolded him for smoking, and now she often criticized his choice of reading materials as inappropriate. It seemed like he always found new ways to get under her skin. What should she do to make the man stop bothering her? May's demanding job leaves her with little energy for her husband, and evenings are spent simply recovering from exhaustion. Thankfully, her husband is understanding and supportive, taking on household chores to ease her burden. While they cherish their loving and helpful partnership, a subtle yet significant void lingers in their relationship, a missing element they can't quite define but recognize as crucial for strengthening their family bond. Exhausted from their demanding work schedule, May fell into a deep sleep as she and Mr. Nakata traveled together. Observing her peaceful face, the guy was struck by her beauty and impressed by her unwavering dedication. At the same time, May's slumber was interrupted by a ringing phone. She instantly answered the call, revealing a client on the other end. Mr. Nakata listened as May, despite her recent awakening, professionally and attentively addressed the client's needs, further showcasing her commitment. As May continued her conversation, the middle-aged man also began a phone call of his own. Was it work-related? Or was he pursuing a separate agenda he hadn't yet disclosed? May and her companions reach a modest apartment, which will serve as a temporary respite for her to recover. Rather than a luxurious hotel, this more economical option was suggested by Mr. Nakata, who shares a long-standing connection with the owner. This choice was made not only because of its affordability but also due to his intention to assist May in overcoming her severe fatigue. The guy is convinced that sufficient rest is vital for enhanced productivity and effectiveness in one's duties. By ensuring May is well rested and not fatigued, they will be better equipped to fulfill their responsibilities. Exhausted to her core after a grueling day of travel with her elderly workmate, the sexy lady sank gratefully into the welcoming comfort of her home. The joy of returning and knowing her husband would look after her enveloped her like a soothing tide. Yet, this peace was fleeting, quickly eclipsed by a lingering sense of dread that refused to subside. After that incident, Mr. Nakata's attentions toward May had grown more insistent, his proximity feeling increasingly invasive and unwanted. A wave of nausea twisted in her gut as she reminded herself of his marital status, making his behavior not only improper but profoundly disturbing. Despite her efforts, ranging from gentle hints to more direct rejections. To keep him at bay, the older man persisted, orbiting the edges of her personal space as if compelled to raise a forbidden topic. It seemed the middle-aged guy was eager to confront the vague and troubling undercurrent between them, perhaps to clarify their relationship, set boundaries, or rationalize his actions. But May recoiled at the idea. She fully grasped the inappropriateness of his pursuit and longed for him to recognize it and back away. The lady reached her breaking point. The relentless bullying and joking from her partner, the middle-aged man, had become unbearable. Driven to desperation, she approached their boss and pleaded for a separation, confessing how his behavior impacted both her work and her well-being. Her request was granted. Mr. Nakata received official notification that Mei was being paired to other driver, effective immediately. The news hit him like a bucket of ice water. He was just beginning to develop feelings for Mei, oblivious to the fact that his actions were the very cause of her distress. Watching Mei, he felt a surge of irritation and jealousy. He felt betrayed by the sudden transfer and tormented by the thought of who her new partner might be. His mind conjured up a series of unsettling possibilities, fueling his anxiety. Mei's new driving partner, unfortunately, mirrors the behavior of her previous one. He's just as difficult, exhibiting a similar lack of respect. He bristles at her guidance, demanding control over every decision. Instead of listening, he frequently criticizes her, even when she's done nothing to warrant it. Mei seems trapped in a cycle of problematic partnerships, leaving her feeling discouraged and hopeless about finding someone she can genuinely work with and who will treat her with respect. The woman's heart sank when she saw her paycheck. The meager amount wouldn't begin to cover her family's needs. The president, seeing her distress, advised her that partnering with Mr. Nakata again was the only way to significantly increase her salary. This suggestion sparked an internal conflict. Could she compromise her values for financial security? Driven by her family's desperate financial situation, Mei swallowed her pride and approached her former partner just weeks after their separation, hoping to rekindle their professional relationship. He initially resisted, wounded by her abrupt departure and attempting to convince her of her error. However, Mei, now the pursuer, stubbornly persisted, knowing a partnership with him offered the best chance at significant profit. She tirelessly apologized, humbling herself and vowing to avoid past mistakes, working to soothe his anger and resentment. Eventually, his mercy won out, and he agreed to reunite as traveling partners. This marked the beginning of a surprising new chapter. The initial animosity dissipated, replaced by respect and understanding. But something more unexpected also blossomed, a deepening connection neither anticipated as they worked side by side. After a few months, Mei's husband received wonderful news, a job offer from a former college senior. This senior, now at a large company, had personally offered him a position. The new role boasted a significantly higher salary and promised greater opportunities, including easier access to loans, dramatically improving their financial standing. Excited by the prospect of a single income, Mei's husband suggested she quit her job, confident he could support them comfortably. He was surprised, however, when Mei declined. She enjoyed her work, valued her colleagues, and emphasized the importance of her contribution to their family's finances. Though initially taken aback, Mei's husband respected her perspective and acknowledged her dedication. Trusting her judgment, he thanked her for her continued hard work and the love she poured into their family. After a long day, Mei left her husband a calm, controlled voice message. She explained she'd be late due to unexpected overtime, urging him not to worry. The truth was, she was with Mr. Nakata, engaged in some important things related to work. As the clock ticked past 8, and her husband's unanswered calls and messages mounted, his anxiety grew despite her reassurances. He went to her office, hoping to bring her home. But fate, or perhaps the overdue revelation of truth, awaited him. There, in the sterile silence, he stumbled upon the secret Mei had so carefully concealed. The sight shattered him, a cold wave of realization washing over him as his world crumbled. The end. Workplace bullying directed at women or anyone else is unacceptable. Beyond being unethical and damaging, it can lead to severe repercussions. A respectful and inclusive work environment, on the other hand, fosters a positive and productive atmosphere for all. So, never imitate all the wrongdoings from this movie. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next story.